This episode is about what to do when you spiral downward. You know, when you have an upset or something happens and you just can't seem to get back on track and everything seems to be going wrong and you feel horrible. This is the episode for you. Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Embody podcast, a show about remembering and embodying your true nature, inner wisdom, embodied healing, and self-love. My name is Candace Wu, and I'm a holistic healing facilitator, intuitive coach, and artist sharing my personal journey of vulnerability, offering meditations and guided healing support, and having co-creative conversations with healers and wellness practitioners from all over the world. So I'm in Spain. It's a dark night. I'm sitting looking over the coastline, and behind me are mountains. I can hear crickets. I can see lights. And as I look out onto the seascape, it's really cool because there's, I think, a cruise boat out there, because all I can see are a small row of lights on the water. But the interesting thing is the water and the sky are just blending into one dark nothingness, or like one mass. And the stars in the sky are right in the same field as this cruise ship, this block of lights. And all the lights on the water are moving a little bit and just blurring in with the stars in the sky. And around me, you might be able to hear some dogs barking. Things here are slow and really beautiful, but all sorts of things unpredictable. So I decided to do this podcast outside here at night, and I hope that these dog barking sounds are not going to bother you too much, because I really wanted to share about these thoughts that I've been having here and the ways that I've been working through my own spiraling down. So what do you do when you are feeling like you're going down on a spiral? You know what I'm talking about, right? When you get triggered by something upsets you, and things just seem to go worse from there. Everything just goes downhill, or you feel like it is. You feel like nothing can go right for you, and this happens and then that happens, and you're overwhelmed. So what do you do? Yes, even healers or therapists have those kinds of experiences. For me, it's just about knowing what to do with them, being able to witness that, and to allow it to happen without throwing me way off course, but to be able to come back to some grounding. My most recent experience of that was just last week. So I'm in Spain and I just arrived here about 2 weeks ago. The first week was kind of prescribed for me. I was spending time with my partner's family, so that was easy. I knew where I was staying. It was just jet lag and adjustment. And then the following week and a half thereafter, we had been looking for a place to stay more long term. And what started it all, this series of downward spiral for me, was that the flight from Mallorca, Spain to Malaga was canceled. And it was canceled like super late night, like 1 a.m. And with language issues and late night trying to figure this out, we ended up staying in a hotel for 2 nights more, negotiating with the airline and all of the timing of the flights, trying to figure out when the next flight would go out. Each of the flights were complicated. Like, they weren't just a direct flight anymore. We would have to take 2 flights or an extra bus. And all the while I have clients scheduled. I don't schedule them on the same day as my travels, but given that it was 3 days after that we actually flew, it was interfering with my client schedule, which I do not like. So for me, it felt like everything was not going my way, because the flight cancellation, the rental car company canceled an entire reservation for 45 days. which was a really good deal until it got canceled. And so we spent time trying to reinstate these, and it was not easy. It took hours. And then getting to Spain, I was having a hard time finding a longer term place. And so moving every couple of days isn't ideal. So that's a little behind the scenes, and that's what sent me in a bit of a downward spiral, especially adjusting to Spain itself. And I felt overwhelmed. I felt stressed out, anxious, because I didn't know how much things would cost me, just rubbing up against all of my scarcity fears and all the things that rush up when I'm feeling that kind of overwhelm and unpredictability. So when I'm having a hard time believing that everything is in support of me, everything's going my way, which I like to believe, I love to believe that the universe is supporting me in everything, and that each thing is something that I'm creating and drawing towards so that I can learn a deeper lesson, so I can know myself more deeply. I love thinking this way, but when I'm in this sort of downward spiral, when I'm triggered and believing everything that's coming up, even for moments, I can forget about the joy of knowing myself, this opportunity to know myself more deeply. So can you relate to that? Is this something you experience? My guess is yes. And I'm curious what you do to support yourself. There's a time for healing and transforming what comes up. And I think that's the basis of a lot of the work I do with myself and people. So take the triggers that come up, work with them to resolve them, and then it's clear. You get to the root of the issue, or you work in layers so you get to that place. And then you feel more at ease coming into any situation. So that's definitely part of my philosophy. And there's a time for that and making that inner space. There's also a time to shift and feel into safety, feel into a different vibrational alignment, and to support yourself in moving forward so that you can deal with life at hand. So in this episode, I want to offer a couple of different ideas for you that come from my personal experience, the things that I literally did last week and continue to do so that I can be okay each day. And some days are better than others, but so that I can move forward in a way that I can do my daily activities and tasks and feel more grounded. So one of the things that was very apparent to me, something I've been working with, is vibrational alignment to source. Source is the source of everything, and it's the clearest and most pure energy of consciousness that we can touch into. It is the divine energy of creation. It is oneness. It is self with a big S, the self that's the same self as every other being. So it's that energy that gives life to creation. It's quite a big concept, and it's not something that I always resonated with, but the more healing I did, the more I was able to feel into that source energy. It's a feeling of complete clarity inside my body, clearness rather, and openness, expansion, and space, simplicity, and knowing. It's both joyful and neutral at the same time. It's calm, loving, and witnessing. I've been listening to Abraham Hicks, who channels the ideas around aligning with your vibration and your source energy. And this was just coming back to me over and over again during this process of me spiraling downward. So the premise of that is that if you align to the source energy, if you align to source vibrationally in your energy, in your feeling sense, then you will attract all the things that you desire, and you will create from this joyful, expansive place, and therefore receive all that is readily and easily there for you to receive. So here I am in the middle of my process thinking, okay, how can I touch into this vibrational alignment of myself where then I can get the flight that I want to get, which is not tapping into source, because that energy of being vibrationally aligned with the deepest part of yourself, it doesn't care what flight you get. It doesn't need to have control. And when there is control, there's some resistance. There's an opposition to some part of your experience or what you don't want to have, what you fear. And so I was trying to use that alignment to get what I wanted, which was just only, I was very aware I was trying to do that and it wasn't working. And yet I was still trying to do it. But how do you really do it? And that is tapping into that energy in any way you can. One way to do it is to touch into any time you have felt this sort of expansive energy where you trusted that everything was going right for you and that you felt in joy about it and you felt that you loved how much things are going right for you and that everything from that view is in alignment. Everything is going right for you. So if you've had an experience where you've trusted and it didn't matter what the outcome was, and it probably was a very likable outcome, desirable outcome, but that it really didn't matter. You were okay with either way or whatever way it went, or even if it went in a way that you mentally would think, oh, I don't really want that, you still experienced it in a way that felt grounded and rooted in yourself, that you could move through that with grace. If you tap into the energy of that kind of experience, especially if you've had one before, you can feel into your body, into your heart, your body sensations and how your body is, to feel the vibration of that memory. And then apply that vibration to your experience now. Stay in that vibration and feel into the present moment with it. And just stay there and allow that to grow in you so that you feel even more and more in that source energy, in the vibrational alignment of yourself, where nothing that really happens on the outside could shake you. And as you feel into that, another thing that you can do is feel into the idea of divine creative energy, the pure light, pure white light or black ray light. And what that means to me is it's the clearest energy of light that I can possibly feel into. White light or white ray light or black ray light have different qualities to me. And it's similar to a sense of the purest yin and yang. But light energy having beauty and vital force that's clear of any belief sets, that's clear of anything that limits it. It's just clear, crystal clear light, love, alignment. And you can let that light energy run through your body. Imagine crystal clear light running through your whole body, this container, and cleansing it of any energy that doesn't align with it. And the same with black ray energy or black ray light. It's from deep into the core of the earth, the deepest you can get. It's creative energy that has also destruction and power and force, but is also clear of any limiting beliefs, any beliefs of our society, and can cleanse you and give you all the innate powers that you are meant to have, that you do have, that may be restrained or unclaimed. You may have a different sense of white ray light and black ray light, and I encourage you to tune into that and cultivate that for yourself. Whatever is the most deepest source energy you can touch into that clears you and frees you of any belief set and any feeling that's happening in your body. And as I said before, this is not something I resonated with earlier on when I had a lot more trauma in my body, a lot more unresolved feelings, and didn't have the capacity to feel through what was going on in my body. I totally rejected all of these ideas. It felt like too woo-woo. It felt like it doesn't make any sense. I don't even know how to do that. And as I built my capacity and a clearer container in this body, a nervous system that was more grounded, then I was able to tap into source energy more often and more easily. But you can still see, given my experience of what I just described to you in Spain, I'm still human and I can fall off of that and struggle to get back on. And that's just another level of what I'm here to heal for myself. So the idea is that you can tap into yourself, your alignment, where you can vibrate with source energy, with the divine energy of creation, with clear light. And that you can feel into this energy that's independent of any of your circumstances. Then you can be who you want to be from here and act from this place. And then you can have all that's coming your way because it's all available. It all starts from that alignment inside with this energy. It's all transformable. One of my spiritual and yoga teachers, Jim Kulackoski, he was actually on the podcast. You can find it at CandiceWu.com/Jim. He describes this very well. A lot of times people think that if we have things, we can do things and then we can be happy. Like if we have money, we can do more activities or do what we want to do, and then we can be happy or joyful. But it's actually the other way around that the universe works. The way that our intentions manifest to reality and the way that our inner world creates the outer world, it's the opposite. Instead of have, do, and be, it's be, do, and have. So if you touch into who you're being, and from a place of being, like what I'm saying here about being in your vibrational alignment, then you can do and act from that place and have all the abundance that is there. So it's about being aligned in yourself in truth, clear of the ideas and belief sets that limit you and that narrow your vision, but the expansive truth that there's all possibility and that you can tune into that possibility to act from that place where you're not expecting everything from the outside to confirm your reality, but that the reality is already confirmed. The reality of who you are is already in place. Then the universe and the world around you acts in agreement with that. If we're living from a place where we fear not having enough, let's say not having enough money or not being enough in ourselves, then we send that vibration out and the world around us confirms the fear that we send out. It matches that vibration because it's a narrow vibration. It's a narrow vision and we're looking for just the exact right thing that can make us feel better. We ask too much of the world around us and we miss out on all of the ways the universe is trying to give us what we want. And we also tighten up the abundance around us. We tighten up the energy. So we just get scarcity. We just get lack. We just get a confirmation of the belief set that we fear. And just one more thing about tuning into your aligned self is that it's transcending all of the belief sets. As I said, the white ray and black ray light is free of belief sets, the beliefs of your conscious self as well as your unconscious self, the things that live in your body. That's what create your vibration. The sensation you feel when something happens. And if you distill that down, it's the belief that you're unworthy or that you're ugly or that you're not allowed to express yourself. Whatever belief set it is, if you feel it even, whether or not you know the words of the belief, that's the energy that you're vibrating with. And if you act from that energy, you will inevitably confirm that belief somewhere or another, or at least you'll perceive it that way. You'll see the world through that lens. And tapping into source energy is going beyond those beliefs. It's going to the oneness and all possibility. It's going to Om, the vibration of all possibility. So that sense of tuning into your vibrational alignment is just one way to work with when you spiral out of control or when you spiral downward into a really tough feeling. If that's not easy for you, like I mentioned, it wasn't easy for me, let's try a couple of other things. This is something that helps me almost immediately when I'm feeling that emotional spiral downward, is to just stop and orient myself to look around. This is a somatic experiencing practice, and it reminds you that you're actually safe right here and now. Despite what you're feeling inside, despite the fear inside, or the anxiety, or the overwhelm, that you're literally physically safe. So if you look around your space and look at pleasant things around you, especially beautiful things, and you take the time to breathe that in and to feel that you're here, and you get to see this pretty thing in front of you, or this nice view. If you're in your room or house, look for things, objects that you like to look at, or look out the window and look at a tree. If you're even in a more beautiful place like Spain or somewhere else, look towards that cityscape or seascape, whatever it is, and feel gratitude for your breath. Feel that you are safe and alive. Your body is here and working. It's healthy enough to be listening to this podcast right now and breathing. If you have food, acknowledge that and feel appreciation for the fact that you can eat. And this is not to guilt yourself or shame yourself for feeling other things, or to criticize yourself that, oh, you should be feeling grateful because you have these basic things. It's more so to help you feel safety. It's to bring back the grounding and the realization that here and now, you are truly alive and safe and okay. And as you feel into that, just let any emotions come up that want to come up. Let what you feel in your heart be felt. Feel into any grief or sadness or loss or anger. Or if joy and relaxation are here, feel into that. And if you did feel into any of the challenging feelings, take a few moments or breaths to feel into the good feelings. I don't like to label things as good and bad, but there are ones that are more pleasurable. And so feel into the pleasurable emotion, or the part of you that can take a deeper breath. The part of you that enjoys looking at whatever you're looking at. The part of you that appreciates being alive. So just the simple thing of acknowledging the basic safety, that you are okay, that you are safe right now, can support your nervous system in calming down, getting grounded, and realizing its safety. And then you can take the next step and look at whatever challenge you're looking at in your life, or take the next step of what you need to do. But come back often to that sense of safety that you can find for yourself. I want to offer 2 more things today. And one of them is self-touch. The body is a container for all of the emotions and sensations we feel, and also the transformer of those emotions. It transmutes those emotions so that you can come back to safety, pleasure, enjoyment, and handle challenging emotion. So if your body is tuned into all of those capacities to feel, then you can stay with emotion and let it move pretty easily. But if it's feeling overwhelming, or there are certain emotions that you feel a bit stuck with, then that can get stuck in the body. It doesn't quite move, and you can perpetually feel that way or feel that it's not getting better. With that, either way, I recommend doing a bit of self-touch, and that's just touching your body from head to toe. And as basic or simple as that sounds, it's incredibly helpful for the body and the nervous system and even your heart. So if you want to try it with me, go ahead and take your hands and start with the top of your head and just feel your head touch with firm pressure or a light tapping, squeeze. See what kind of touch feels good. Get curious. You can travel down the body just by touching the face, the ears. Do it slowly so your body and your awareness can sync up, and that you can integrate how it's feeling. And take the time to notice what kinds of pressure or sensation, what kind of touch feels good on the body. And when you move down the body to different parts, get a sense of every part of your body. Let your awareness be with yourself and hang out in places that feel like they want more support. You can even cross your arms and do a self-hug. And if you squeeze while you do a self-hug, you remind the body even more of the container you can hold from the outside instead of tensing up and gripping in with the muscles on the inside. And this whole process of self-touch of the body from head to toe is really about reminding your body, your awareness of your body, that you have a body. Reminding your awareness that this body can help you with all the emotions, that you have breath that can help you as well. And giving the grounding to the body so that it can digest whatever you're experiencing, both pleasant and unpleasant. So if you're doing that with me now, feel free to make your way down to your hips and your legs, down to your ankles. Do it at your pace so that you feel in control of yourself and your choices. That you can navigate your body how you want to. It's your body. And this body can help you move through all of what you're feeling. And when you're complete with that, just notice how your body feels. And the last thing I want to offer today is more of a cognitive process and touching into your inner wisdom. And it's just when you feel like you're in a negative spiral or going downhill with your emotions and things aren't going right, just take a breath, a deep breath. Do some of the self-touch if you want to, but then ask yourself, what do I need to support myself or to make this more comfortable? What do I need to move forward? What do I need in general? And just listen to the inner voice in you that might whisper or give you a signal or an image or a knowing of what you need. And even tuning into the thought or picture of what you need can bring a sense of relief to the body. See what that does for you if you ask yourself, what do I need? And just picture having what you need. And with that, you might ask yourself, what's next? What next step do I need to take? And do it with love and compassion, rather than letting yourself tangle up with the thoughts or the emotions of what's going on for this moment. You can work with those later. Just ask yourself, what do I need to do next? Just take one tiny baby step. So I just want to wrap up today and let you know that there will be a couple of meditations, healing experiences that come out later this week that support you in this downward spiral and helping yourself out of that dark hole. And some of those exercises are ones that I talked about today on the podcast. Tune in if you'd like to, if it helps you, and feel free to share this with someone who might need it. I know that I often get resources from friends at just the right times, or I can draw upon them from previous times someone has dropped something into my periphery. So if someone in your life needs something like this, feel free to refer them to this podcast and the meditations that will follow. Thanks so much for listening today. I love hearing your feedback, your ideas, things that you need or are thinking about, things you're challenged with. So feel free to reach out to me. I'd love for you to stay in touch as well on the Embody community, which is the Facebook group where there are 5 to 10 minutes self-love tips and meditations that you can check out. They're videos instead of podcasts. If you're wanting some more personal support, feel free to reach out to me. I do one-on-one intuitive healing sessions and love working with people online. So from anywhere in the world, go ahead and find me on my page, CandiceWu.com, or sign up to receive my newsletters at CandiceWu.com/embody. I'm wishing you well and just sending all of this peaceful, mostly peaceful energy from Spain. Just looking out at the cityscape now. It's dark. You've heard the dogs around me. I hope that wasn't too bothersome, but this is just part of the noise set that's here where I am. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time on the Embody podcast.